Once again, Donald Trump has kicked off a presidential term with a whimper rather than a bang. According to the latest polling from 538, Donald Trump's approval rating at the start of his second term is right around 50%, with 43% disapproving. That is a net approval of +7. You take the 50, you subtract from it the 43, you get 7. +7, maybe it sounds decent to you, I don't know. But then you realize that this is the second worst start for any president since World War II. And the only person that Trump is underperforming at, or rather outperforming at this point in time, was Trump back in 2017. The bar is so damn low that the only competition is Donald Trump himself. Now, if history is any guide, things are likely to get worse. I want to remind you of that in a moment. It's a dynamic we've talked about before. But let's break this down first. Trump's approval rating is underwater compared to every modern president except his own first term. George W. Bush started with a net approval of +28. Biden started at +22. Even Trump the first time around started with a net approval of +3. But now it's been, 4 years of a disastrous presidency, the first time Trump was president, 4 years of chaos since Trump has left the office, broken promises, and MAGA is showing its cracks. We've explained how the tech bro right and the nationalist right, previously united against the shared enemy of woke and DEI, are now starting to crack. They're in disagreement about immigration policy, H-1B visa. It's not clear what they want when it comes to taxes and so on. And this doesn't bode well for Donald Trump and what's left of, most of what's left, I guess, 4 years minus 9 days. And it's because voters are slowly realizing that they are about to get screwed again, as we have been talking about this week. Look at the policy proposals. We'll talk on the bonus show about how many of the things Trump has done already in these 9 days, even though there's a lot of rah-rah, he's doing it, he's so strong, he's alpha, he's burly, he's healthy, all stuff that's not true. A lot of Trump's key proposals, on the surface, they might sound popular, like Trump's hardline stance on immigration. There is no doubt immigration is important to the American people, and many voters felt Trump strong where Harris was weak. Fine. But then you get into the details. Deporting undocumented immigrants accused of crimes. Deporting undocumented immigrants not accused of crimes. Separating families. Deporting random women, like we talked about in the last segment. Finishing the border wall. A national emergency at the border. Some of this stuff has support generically, but if you dig deeper, you start to see the cracks. The plan to pardon the January 6th rioters, only 21% of Americans support that, and he did it loudly and prominently and signed it in front of cameras. Withdrawing from international climate agreements like the Paris Climate Accord, that's not popular. Ending birthright citizenship, a majority of Americans are opposed to that. These are just not the policies of a president in touch with the American people. These are the policies of a man that panders to the far-right fringe, and much of the country looks on and says, this is not good. This is either not what I voted for, or this is why I didn't vote for it. And then we get to like the biggest issue of all, and it's the economy. Trump's big selling point in 2024 was, you don't think the economy is good under Biden? Vote for me. I'm going to fix everything. We'll bring down prices. We're going to do energy independence, which we already are. We're going to do all these different things. And healthcare prices don't seem to be on a trajectory to decline. Grocery prices are already up. And Americans just aren't buying it. According to the same poll, most people do not believe that Donald Trump is even going to deliver on that promise. Now, there's an important counterpoint to this, which is it's sort of like when Trump said in 2020 that he won the election and people were polled, do you think that that's true, that Trump really won? And a lot of his supporters did say that they believe Trump won, but to a degree, they were saying what they identified as being needed to say to show that you're on the team, to show that you're part of the cult, part of the club, or whatever the case may be. But on the nuts and bolts, will prices be lower 3 months from now, 6, 12, 18 months from now? Most Americans have already decided they don't think they will. And why would they? Because Trump's key economic proposal, which is tariffs, is also not popular. It's only supported by 29% of Americans. Economists know that the tariffs will raise prices. Even Americans who do not have necessarily a more sophisticated understanding of economics, intuitively, most Americans are understanding, wait, if you put tariffs on the stuff I buy at the grocery store, how will that make it cheaper? It's not going to. It's going to make it more expensive. Now I want to talk about the kind of natural trajectory of these approval ratings. One of the things I've explained before is that, in general, presidential approval ratings decline over time. Why? The reason is that for many voters, once a president does something you don't like, you switch from I approve to I don't approve, and it doesn't matter what else they do. I'll give you an example. If you are someone who disapproves of pardoning the rioters, for example, you approve of the job Trump is doing for a few hours, right? And then within a few hours of being sworn in, he pardons the rioters. You don't like that, now you don't approve. If Trump does something you like next week, even if you acknowledge that I like, you're unlikely to switch back to I approve from I don't approve. This is the case basically with every president in the modern era. Approval ratings tend to decline over time as more and more of the population finds something that the president did that they don't like. And once you lose people, you usually don't get them back. Trump is no exception to this. In fact, he's kind of the rule. His first term approval rating cratered, and then it got even worse after the January 6th insurrection. There's really no reason to think that Trump's second term is going to be any different. The question is, how long is it going to take for voters to realize they've been duped? And will they be willing to admit it to themselves? So bottom line, Trump starting his second term in a weaker position than any modern president other than himself. Not a good place to start. Lucky for Trump, he has no more campaigns to run and also doesn't care about his followers. Those will be benefits to Donald Trump.
Every romantic relationship has periods where people get busy, struggle to find time to connect, or find new ways to connect. And that's why our sponsor Paired has been such a valuable tool for so many people. It's the app for couples who want to strengthen their relationship. Every day, Paired gives you personalized questions or quizzes or games to stay connected, deepen your conversations, and have fun. The best part is you can't see your partner's answer until you answer. So it's a safe space to have an open and honest discussion about the relationship. No faking it or pretending, just genuine connection to keep the spark alive. My girlfriend and I have used Paired. Even if you've known your partner for years, like I have, I still feel like Paired helps me learn new things and stay connected. Whether you're just a few dates in or you've been together a long time, like me, find the time to connect with your partner, nourish the relationship. Head to paired.com/Pacman to get a 7-day free trial and 25% off if you sign up for a subscription. The link is in the description.